Hello, everybody, and welcome to MetsXMFanZone Live Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Gennaro, and we're here to give you everything Mets every Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 9 a.m. and also at the 7 p.m. hour. If you guys love our shows, please always tweet, like, and subscribe. We go live on every one of our podcasts when we go live. So, just throwing that out there. So we got some good news for you guys tonight. In regards to talking some Mets, we're gonna basically talk about the off season, and plus let you guys know that you guys could check out our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.com. We give you guys all your latest site reactions. We talk Mets news, and of course you can now watch spring training games on our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.com. You can click on our spring training tab, and everybody who is a member of our website will be getting spring training for free. It is live spring training games, and of course, if you guys would like to get in game throughout the regular season, you guys can purchase one of our membership plans on our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.com/plans, and you can check that out today, which we have here up on the left-hand side. If you guys are members of our website, please do check that out today. So we got some news for you guys. I think this is going to be very interesting for fans, and why I say that is we got two top headline stories for today. One of them I will mention in just a few moments. But I really would like to just touch base on players that are going to be going into spring training. You know, players to look out for, players to see. And what is best here is that there are so many guys, I feel, in the offseason that the Mets did pick up. We're going to more than likely be able to look at. And from that standpoint, could the Mets very well, go into, getting these guys? Will they be up in a team? So I'm willing to, just give you guys my opinion on that. So I'm going to go over players I feel that are going to stand out in spring training. And then we got our top headline for today's podcast. So if you guys want to listen to our podcast, you guys can do that by going on to Spotify. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio. You can listen to us on Odyssey. Anything that you hear and see on our broadcast today will be auto-transcribed on our platform. So you guys could check that out by clicking on in the show notes. Also, we would like to thank TicketNetwork.com for live sponsoring, being partners of our live streams. They are now one of our latest partners, which, of course, you can get really cheap, reliable tickets, fast and easy, and you can download them anywhere, which is great. By using our platform, go to MetsXMFanZone.com. You can click on the link, and you guys can get your Mets tickets today. Cheap, fast, and reliable. All right, so enough with the advertisement. Let's go into, the moves that the Mets are going to plan on getting. So we have some key players that I feel, in my honest opinion, that the Mets could possibly be watching here. And I'm going to start off with Francisco Alvarez. And why I say Francisco Alvarez is he's a 21-year-old catcher. He's number 3 prospect heading into the 2023 season. His power bat is sure to play in the majors. Last season, between AA and AAA, he had 27 home runs and 78 RBIs and 74 runs, which I feel that he can be a valuable asset to the Mets. I mean, does he have prior injuries that he had in the minor leagues, which led to the offseason surgery? I mean, can Alvarez's bat be ready? Could he very well be in AAA going going into the start of the 23 season? We don't know just yet on that. So, I mean, could he be right next to Nieves? Could he be right next to Thomas Nido? I feel that, with that being said, his stats could very well, show improvement. We do know with him being injured all the time, I don't want to say he's kind of injury prone all the time. Could he be valuable going into the 2023 spring training? He could very well be valued. I think that the Mets want to see him succeed just a little bit more. But in my honest opinion, having 78 RBIs with Big Tim Syracuse, belting 27 home runs, 74 runs. I mean, that's pretty impressive, I would say the least. So, could he be a guy that could be overlooked? Or could he be a guy that would more than likely be going down to the minor leagues? I don't say so. And I think Francisco Alvarez could very well be your third string guy. I think the Mets need three catchers. And that's my honest opinion. You got Nieves. And, of course, you got Thomas Nido. Thomas Nido is going to be probably your backup. But Alvarez, I don't see the Mets putting Alvarez just over that hump just yet. I think Alvarez needs one more year in the minors. That's in my honest opinion. Now, moving on to position players. Now, Brett Baty. Yeah, you guys heard me talk about Brett Baty throughout the offseason. I like on what I see through Brett Baty. He is a 23-year-old third baseman, captured to be, Mets love and heart guy. He did hit a home run in his first rookie at bat in Atlanta. He has a smooth bat, which I love. I think he has a really nice, sweet swing. You get to see that in the minors. He did get called up to the Mets. He did have 11 games with us. Due to the ligament in his thumb, it kind of set him back a little bit, in my honest opinion. Could it be outlooked to be that the Mets are probably going to have Escobar there as opposed to, instead of Brett Baty? Brett Baty is probably going to be your backup as of right now. I don't think that Brett Baty is going to be the number one guy into that third base spot. The Mets are paying Eduardo Escobar $9.5 million this season, so he can get his first crack at third base. You really don't know because, you still got Luis Guillaume, which can be coming off the bench. But then again, you can put Brett Baty there and out in the outfield, which could be overlooked for Marquena, and being Marquena coming off the bench. But that being said, he can very well have his skills being set as an outfielder. See, that's the thing. I don't know if the Mets are going to plan on putting him as an outfielder. I would like to see him as an outfielder. Going through the work and seeing it on his routine, it looks like he's starting to bulk up a little bit. I think he's a little too lean. He needs to be able to have that versatility and that flexibility there at third base if he's going to be your third baseman of the future. He's got a great bat. He's definitely got a Mookie Wilson sort of bat. I think he has more of a Freddie Freeman sort of bat. And I think that he can very well, develop his skills there at third base. So, with that being said, he can chisel his way into being a third baseman, but I would like to see him there. He's more than likely going to be your backup going into the 2023 season. Now, there are guys where I feel that I haven't really talked about very much, which is Ronnie Mauricio. Now, Mauricio is a 23-year-old free-swinging shortstop. Now, to me, in my honest opinion, he's too tall to be a shortstop, which I don't know if they're going to probably keep him as a shortstop or are they really transitioning him to be an outfielder. I mean, the guy can hit you home runs. He's given you 26 home runs in the minors. He drove 89 RBIs, and he has scored 71 runs. So his opposition can be, very well to be over the top of 800 on base percentage, which he does have a nice swing. I think he's going to be able to be an outfielder, and I would love to see him being developed a little bit more, which more than likely, in my honest opinion, he's a guy that can be proved to be a MVP candidate. And he has that. He has that ability to do so. So with that being said, could he very well be a guy that the Mets will overlook? I don't think so. His improvement could be within his first season of AA and AAA. And I think the Mets will have their opinion going forward. Okay, and then here's another guy I feel that the Mets could really look at. Is the 23-year-old Kevin Peraza. He is a catcher. The Mets did draft him as the number 1 overall pick in last year's draft. And as a sophomore at Georgia Tech, Peraza has hit 26 home runs. He had 88 RBIs. He had 79 runs. And to take them both into the College Catching Award, which was very well proven to be a productive, strong contract. He did announce that he can be a MVP candidate. Now, he has a pretty decent swing, I would say, in my honest opinion. He has a really good arm, I feel, that can get guys out at second base and third. His biggest is his defense and his offense. So we know that he has a pretty good defense. He has a pretty good offense, to say the least. But could he begin the 2023 season in Single A, where he can just play 10 games in last season? So his timeline is very short-lived. Could the Mets make a trade here, or could the Mets end up keeping him? Those are continued to be something that the Mets could look or overlook. Now going into another guy I feel I would like to see is Alex Ramirez. Now, Alex Ramirez is the one guy I feel on the roster invitees for spring training could be a guy that the Mets could possibly bring in. Now, he is 20 years old. I mean, he did sign in 2019 a $2.5 million for the Dominican Republic. He did showcase his speed. Which I find that he's got that capability of stealing a lot. He has stolen 21 bases. He did do 30 doubles. He has eight triples in the Single A team. He has quickness about him. I would like to see that. His weapon at center field, I mean, even though Brandon Nimmo did resign with the New York Mets, I mean, he can be overlooked in that aspect. Could he be a guy that the Mets will like to move going into the 23 season? Could very well, but I think he is trade bait. All right. Moving right along. Now we got Blade Tidwell. Now, Blade Tidwell is a 23-year-old right-handed pitcher. Now, he did draft with the New York Mets. He is a sophomore. He was a sophomore with Tennessee. He did have a shoulder injury prior to year before. But looking into his stats, he was number 52 in the second round in 2023. In 22, he did have a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, which I find very impressive for a 21-year-old. He has a 99-mile-an-hour changeup and curveball, which is impressive. But we need to be able to see him a little bit more pitching, in my honest opinion. You're probably going to see him in Port St. Lucie during spring training. but he can very well be another guy that could be trade bait. All right, going into Mark Ventos. Now, a lot of you guys have questions for me. Many questions were brought out to who you want to see and who you want to see go. And in my honest opinion, I like Mark Ventos. I think he's 22 years old. I mean, he's given you 24 home runs, 74 RBIs. Could he be a guy that could be brought up into the minor leagues? Does he have a future with the New York Mets? I mean, he does have a future, but the problem is that players in front of him in that position could very well be in jeopardy. I don't feel that Mark Ventos could be a guy that could be brought up for the future for the New York Mets. I do feel that he can be trade bait. So there's a lot of guys on my list here that could very well be traded, but which goes to show that you got Jet Williams. He's another guy that was in the draft, and Mets wanted to bring in. I mean, he's a 5'8" guy. He could give you home runs. He could steal runs. He's able to come into the Mets and be a very forceful player. Now, he could give you runs. He could give you a home run. I mean, he could give you 24 home runs at best. He could give you 78 to 80 RBIs. But will his maturity be, problematic for the team? They say he has a lot of problems with the plate. Could his flexibility be able to give you insurance? I don't feel that he does give the Mets insurance. He can be prone to be injured. He is a rookie, so he's still learning. But I don't feel that he can be a forceful player for the Mets. And again, he could be another guy that the Mets will end up trading in the long run. So those are my guys I feel that can be either stay or go, but very well that the Mets can overlook these guys for spring training. Now let's go on to our top news of the night. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me questions. We'll answer that in our next segment, but here's the question that you guys have been asking me. Now, what is the deal with Keith Hernandez's contract? Now, prior to yesterday, there has been circulations and rumors on Keith on where if he's going to resign with the New York, is he going to resign with the SNY crew? What's the deal on Keith? So now we do have official word coming from my desk as of yesterday. I didn't really bring it out, but on a tweet yesterday, I know a lot of you guys were asking me, what's going on with that. So I wanted to be able to answer it. Let's see if I could just pop it up on the screen here. And Jennifer, was it Jen that asked me? No, it wasn't Jen. It was Steve Cohen is king. What is the status of Keith Hernandez? Now, Keith Hernandez did sign yesterday with the New York Mets. This has been, the SNY crew. He will be for the next 4 or 5 years. He's going to be with the New York Mets until 2025. But he will not be prior to that. So he's saying that he might retire after 2025. We don't have official word on that just yet, but as of right now, we are hearing that Keith Hernandez could very well. He has now extended his contract. This is extended with the New York Mets, and he will be now with the SNY crew. And let's take another question here. Says, who do you want to come up from the minors in September? Now, if we were going to really go with who the Mets are going to pick up in September, very well, it's going to probably be not Francisco Alvarez. It's more than likely going to be Ronnie Mauricio, or it could very well be Alvarez, not Alvarez. Though I did say Alvarez. Peraza. Those are probably two guys that are going to probably be coming up in September. Ronnie Mauricio, because we want to be able to see what Mauricio could end up doing. So he could very well be a guy that the Mets could bring up. Again, like I said in my monologue before, he gives you 25 home runs. He could give you 89 RBIs, and he could give you 71 runs. So he could very well be a guy that could be very forceful and very impactful, and could lead the Mets to a future. So I really do like Ronnie Mauricio in that spot. Now, again, he needs to work I would say put him there in the outfield, not so much for shortstop. And again, with Kevin Peraza, same sort of feel. He could give you 24 home runs. He gives you 79 runs. Gives you 26 home runs. He could be also a guy that the Mets could bring up in September. And that's all the news that we have for you guys today. If you guys love our shows, please always tweet, like, and subscribe. And if you guys would like to check out our website, you guys can do that by going to MetsXMFanZone.com. We'll give you guys Mets live coverage, my predictions and reactions of spring training and throughout the regular season. And if you guys love our shows, please always tweet, like, subscribe, hit the star notifications if you want to hear more content like this throughout the off season and throughout the season. I want to thank you guys for watching, and how I always end these shows with you guys: tweet, like, and subscribe. And you can also listen to our shows weekly. So we'll see you guys real soon. Be safe, be well. Let's go Mets. And you guys can watch us on MetsXMFanZone or listen to us on all of your social media platforms.